Welcome to NASCAR America. It's our southern campus here in Charlotte, North Carolina, and that's appropriate because we're racing in the south in Atlanta. We've got Parker Kligerman, A.J. Allmendinger. Okay, the big headline is obviously this rules package, but people watching at home, we don't want to talk no stinking rules.
No.
I mean, tell me what, as a driver, what's it going to feel like for the guys behind the wheel?
Well, my personal opinion is that we're looking at something that's very similar to trucks. And what do trucks have? They have a lot of downforce, which means a lot of grip. And they have it a lot at the beginning of a run at Atlanta. But then as the run goes on, it's just like any other race car. The tires wear out, and suddenly you're slipping and sliding just as much, and you want more downforce. That is probably what we're expecting to see out of these Cup cars with this new package going to Atlanta. Do you agree?
To a certain point, I think people just don't know truly what to expect. Yeah, they've tested it. They went out there and ran in smaller packs, but you get 40 cars out there together. And as you just said, the Atlanta Motor Speedway is worn out. There is a lot of cars sliding around, but I think we're going to see really close racing. There's going to be cars, and the key thing is we're used to running the bottom, middle, top in Atlanta. It's, okay, does the top go away a little bit? Is it all bottom? Do the cars start wearing the tires out? And it's going to be tough to simulate that even in practice, so you're not really going to know until the first run in the race.
So that's a good point, because one of the things I've always noticed in the Truck Series, which, the reason I say this package mimics that is that, the Truck Series always had less horsepower than the Cup cars with a lot more downforce. So this is kind of what we've went to with this package. And the funny thing is, in the Cup cars, you run the top in 1 and 2, you run the top in 3 and 4 at Atlanta. But in trucks, I could never make the top in 3 and 4 work. 1 and 2 would, but 3 and 4, no, you had to be on the bottom. That was the only place to be. And sure enough, now we're going there, and I think a lot of guys who are used to having all that horsepower, lack of downforce you have in the Cup cars are going to go out there and be like, well, we'll be good in the top. I don't think the top will be there sometimes. So that's definitely the unknowns of this for all the drivers, is taking what you knew all before this and kind of throwing it out the door and saying, okay, I've got to treat this like a clean slate of figuring out Atlanta Motor Speedway. So there's the basics of knowing the tires fall off, but what you do over the course of that run, that's going to be so different. So if drivers are really going to be experiencing this all at the first time, as we as viewers, well, actually, I'll be driving, so you'll be a viewer.
Wait, driving both? Double?
I'm doing both, yeah. So I just realized I'll be experiencing
it. You have to get out.
You will be watching, and you want to chime in, I'll let you know how it's going.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks, Parker.
Yeah, yeah.
The thing for me that I'm most interested in, not most, but really interested in, is how practice goes. Because we see at most of these races, especially the Cup cars, they get out there, they run by themselves. Yeah, maybe you get behind a car, but you spend all of practice really focusing on just the handling of your race car. Well, with this new aero package, it might be more about in a big pack of cars. So are we going to see that big pack of cars that are going to go out there together? Or are we going to see guys who are like, no, I'm not going to take that chance? So that's, to me, leading up to the race.
So practice, really important.
Yeah, and it's just how you go about it. So that's what I'm more interested in, is how do these weekends now look Friday and Saturday going into Sunday? Because that's really what you got to focus on, is a big pack of cars. How does your car handle? How do the tires wear out? Because we're going to be on top of each other now instead of spread out.
You bring up the big pack of cars. Think about qualifying. We haven't changed the rules yet. So you're going to want to qualify in a pack. I mean, it's going to be, how risky do you want to get in terms of qualifying? Do you want to try and tail end of this big pack in front of you, and maybe we get a surprise pole sitter because someone just gets that huge draft? But you brought up a great point about practice. Like, do you practice like that? I don't know. I mean, I think, many teams will head out there, will do a single car stuff, and then it's going to be, if the tires don't fall off quick enough, then the only way you can really...
You keep bringing up this tire fall off.
Well, it's really big, yes.
Yeah.
It's many seconds. I mean, it's almost, I think, over 3.5 seconds or around there a lot of times. Over here, we've got a great graphic. 3.4 seconds for Kevin Harvick.
And that was a really good car.
And that's a really good car. So a bad car.
Yeah. My car didn't fall off 3.4 seconds last year. It fell off about 4.5. So,
which is crazy because, for fans that don't understand, as a driver, that means the car literally is slowing down 5 seconds. You have to do everything 5 seconds slower. So it feels like you're barely moving towards the end of those runs. But that's going to be really interesting to see, what you work on, whereas your car works in a draft, and how much you work on your car just working by itself.
Krista, basically what he's saying is he doesn't know yet.
I have no idea.
He's nervous. You can tell him. He's like, I don't know how this is going to go. I got to get out there and get in this pack. I don't know what I'm going to do. So that's what it's going to be fun to watch.
Well, anytime
I'm nervous.
There's drivers here, so I'd be remiss if I didn't say, I know it's a whole new rules package, but when you saw Atlanta on the calendar, were you guys excited about it? You liked Atlanta?
Atlanta, to me, Atlanta's always been one of the most fun mile-and-a-half racetracks that you can go to. But it's just different now. Nobody really knows what to expect, and that's the thing. You don't want to make assumptions like, okay, this is what's going to happen in the race. This is what's going to happen throughout the course of the weekend. Weather may play into it. Maybe you don't get a lot of practice. So there's a lot of things that are going to play into it. And I think everybody, whether it's drivers, crew chiefs, teams, they just don't know. They think they have an idea because they've maybe tested a little bit here and there. But until you drop the green flag, you don't have a true understanding of what this package is going to do.
And I love this place. I think it's one of the coolest racetracks we go to. I know there's been a lot of talk about repaving it, and they've resisted that as long as possible. I hope the weather this weekend doesn't give them incentive to repave it, because as a driver, this is one of those tracks that you feel like you make a difference, right? Especially when we talk about all that tire fall off, you feel like over the course of a run, I can do things maybe better than my buddy over here, AJ, and make a pass on him or be better than him at the end of the run. That's why we love it. And I think that's sometimes why it produces great racing. But as he said, no one knows what to expect.
All right, to sum it up, the what is unpredictability, and the who is me and two guys who might have better hair. That's why I don't like sitting next to you.
Well,
join us every weekday for this
my barber's number
at 5 p.m. on NBCSN for NASCAR America.
Hey NASCAR fans, thanks for checking out the NBC Sports YouTube channel. Make sure you hit subscribe below for the latest NASCAR news, race highlights, and digital exclusives. Thanks for watching.